Here's my honest, comprehensive Bose QuietComfort review in 2025. This is the latest 2023 model from Bose, and today I'm going to be comparing it against all of its major competitors, such as the Bose QuietComfort Ultra, if you're curious if it's worth the upgrade, versus the Sennheiser Momentum 4, the Sony WH-1000XM5 and XM4, Beats Studio Pro, and a little of the Apple AirPods Max. Hey there, OD from recordingnow.com. We're on a mission to create the most comprehensive database of honest, unbiased headphone and earbud reviews, comparisons, and overall rankings to help you make the most informed purchase decision and get the best value for your money. Did you know you can save up to $100 by shopping for any of these headphones renewed in excellent condition or used? We'll have links to where you can save money in the description and in a pinned comment below. If you want to see any model or head-to-head comparison, visit recordingnow.com or Google Recording Now. Use the search bar to search up any model. All right, so if you're new here, we're going to go through every single category and give an objective score to these headphones so you can compare them against all the other headphones. And finally, we'll give an overall score to see where these rank in the landscape. All right, so starting with comfort, these are actually the lightest headphone in this entire class that I mentioned, weighing in at just 236.1 grams. So it's lighter than the Sony's, lighter than the QC Ultra, which is 254 grams, and way lighter than the AirPods Max at 387 grams, the heaviest by far. So what this translates to is an extremely comfortable headphone that I can wear for hours. There's nothing particularly offensive about these headphones, such as the headband or the clamping force or the ear pads. But the most useful comparison here is actually with the more premium Bose QuietComfort Ultra, which when I wear these back to back, the QC Ultra is more comfortable. It is more plush in the headband and on the ear pad material. In comparison, the headband here hits this harder point shortly after pressing into the headband. Despite this being lighter, I do feel the headband and a little bit of that clamping force in the ear pads more. Despite that, these are one of the most comfortable headphones I've tested to date, so I'm still giving them a 4.5 out of 5. I just can't give them a perfect score when there are more comfortable headphones like the Ultra. Now let's move on to features, build quality, battery life, and noise canceling performance, which we'll combine into one score. So starting with features, one thing I absolutely love is how these fold and collapse like previous QuietComforts and how tiny this case is. It's clear Bose designed these headphones for frequent flyers and commuters. To show you a size comparison, these are the Sony WH-1000XM5's case, which is so much larger and bulkier, not to mention kind of a weird shape. So you'll receive a charging cable and a color-matched stereo cable, which is a nice little touch. The QuietComfort 2023 has most of your modern features, such as the customizable active noise canceling and transparency modes. It's using the same app as the QC Ultra. It uses a USB-C charging port. It has multiple built-in microphones for taking calls, and it has customizable EQ using the companion app. When it comes to build quality, these are excellent, and the design is so good that Sony actually copied it for the XM4. Then Sony decided to mess that all up by going with the XM5 and creating this weak hinge right here. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Overall, when I'm handling these headphones, they feel extremely solid and durable, and despite their lightweight and use of plastic, they still do use metal in the headband and underneath the hinges. So overall, excellent build quality. And a quick note about looks, I love the design of the QuietComfort. I think it looks pretty sleek on the head. I especially love this colorway here, which is cypress green. It's like this olive or army green. And overall, these are pretty flattering headphones to wear out in public. For battery life, the QuietComfort 2023 is rated at 24 hours of battery life, which is about average, if not slightly above average. The Sonys like the XM5 and the XM4 are rated at 30 hours, with the Momentum 4 at a class-leading 60 hours of battery life. All right, so let's talk about noise canceling performance, which is one of the things that surprised me the most about the QC 2023. So comparing back to back with the flagship Bose QC Ultra, I was expecting there to be a decent drop off from the flagship Ultra down to the regular QuietComfort 2023. But what I found was the noise canceling actually sounded the same level of performance as the QC Ultra, which in turn would mean it's about on par with the Sony XM5, which has the best active noise canceling today. There are 11 levels of customization between full noise canceling and full transparency mode, although you can't fully turn off either mode. Now, both of these headphones have a new active noise canceling feature called Wind Block that will filter out wind noise effectively. So if you live in a windy city or you're outdoors a lot, that's really helpful. So overall, noise canceling performance is world class. For this category of features, build quality, battery life, and noise canceling performance, I'm giving these a perfect 5 out of 5. Okay, so let's talk about sound quality, which is another area that the Bose QuietComfort 2023 really surprised me. So I bring in the QC Ultra again because this is another area where I was expecting a large drop off from the Ultra down to the cheaper QuietComfort 2023. But to my surprise, I actually enjoyed the sound of the QuietComfort 2023 out of the box more than the Ultra. To be honest, that's more about the QC Ultra's tuning, which I was able to fix with EQ and then brought out the full potential, making these one of the best audiophile balanced headphones today. But the truth is, I enjoyed listening to the QuietComfort more, and even after applying EQ to both of these headphones, I find the QuietComfort more fun to listen to than the QC Ultra. Despite this being more detailed, being more balanced than the audiophile headphone, this is simply a more consumer-friendly headphone. Now, quick note about the EQ, I actually found that I didn't need to EQ these to enjoy them out of the box, which is not the case with the QC Ultra and headphones like the Sony XM5. So that's already a plus. But after applying my personal EQ, I found I was able to get a more balanced sound that I enjoyed even more. Then a viewer of the channel shared their feedback that they actually wanted more vocal clarity for their personal preference. So I came up with an EQ for them and they ended up loving it. So I've actually adjusted the EQ on the website to reflect a more consumer-friendly sound that I ended up liking more than my initial EQ. These headphones are seriously fun to listen to now, and with this EQ, I'm getting not only fun, but I'm also getting a bit of that balanced sound that I, as an audio engineer, a music producer, and a musician, I still want to have some form of balance. So I'm going to be talking about the sound quality with the specific EQ settings on the website, which I'm updating from time to time, so visit the website to see the latest settings. Okay, so let's start with the bass, which I think is the star of the show here. Out of the box, these have head shaking bass. It's so powerful, like it can vibrate your skull. My best comparison here is the Sennheiser Momentum 4, which has some of the best bass out of the box of any of these headphones. Interestingly, when I was listening back to back, the QuietComfort 2023 actually had slightly more bass quantity, but they had the same amount of impact, slam, and are overall just very visceral and hefty. So if you're a bass head, these are my two picks out of all the headphones mentioned. Now, interestingly, for my sound preferences, I actually turned down the bass because I like to have a tighter, more controlled focus bass. But even turned down, these have so much slam, they're so fun to listen to. And this is really what separates the QC from the Ultra, is that the bass on these is so much more satisfying. There's way more sub bass response, whereas the QC Ultra is just a very clean, balanced, audible bass, but not as much slam. Okay, so let's talk about the mids, which is one of the most neutral aspects of these headphones. After experimenting with EQ, I actually ended up boosting the mids to bring out that character and bring out more vocal forward sound, and I found that this made these headphones so pleasing to listen to afterwards. Out of the box, the vocals sound pretty distant and instead was emphasizing more of that bass and treble, but I've used EQ to bring back the vocals and that mid-range with some instruments, and they are really detailed and full and pleasing to listen to. They were just hiding underneath that stock tuning. Okay, so let's talk about treble, which is the weakest aspect of these headphones. Out of the box, there was a peaky treble that had a slight sibilance and harshness to it. So my goal with the EQ was to tune out and to lessen that sibilance, which I was able to do about 90%. This is where the QC Ultra really separates itself from the QuietComfort, because the detail and the smoothness and the lack of sibilance and peakiness is amazing, and it is more audiophile. These headphones are surprisingly detailed, but I'd say that peaky treble, but also the audiophile aspects are not as strong here with the separation and the layering and the clarity. These do have a fairly large soundstage for these Bluetooth wireless active noise canceling headphones, and that's something very pleasing about both the QC and the QC Ultra. Alright, so right now, based on my current listening preferences, the order of these headphones that I prefer to to listen to is the Bose QC Ultra with my personal EQ, which made a huge difference. The Apple AirPods Max stock, which has really excellent stock tuning. It's just a really pleasing all around. It's very balanced. Then the Sennheiser Momentum 4 stock, although I've been experimenting with EQ lately, and these are incredible audiophile headphones for the money. And then we have the Bose QuietComfort 2023 with those EQ settings. So it's right up there with some of the best headphones in this class. So overall for sound quality, I'm giving a very strong 8.4 out of 10 after applying my personal EQ settings. All right, let's talk about value. So these retail at $349, which is obviously not cheap. That said, I've seen them for sale brand new for around $249, which would make these one of the lesser expensive headphones in this class that I was comparing to. Right now, the XM4 goes for around $248. This is an older generation model, and its sound quality is not on the same tier as the headphones that I had mentioned. Still good, and my EQ settings make it more competitive, just not on the level of the current cream of the crop. The Beats Studio Pro also has lesser sound quality and comfort, but these can be found for around $180, which is kind of interesting. The QC Ultra retails at $429, but can be found roughly around $349, so about $100 more expensive than the QuietComfort when they're both on sale. The Momentum 4 is probably the most intriguing value equation headphone compared to these, regularly found for under $300 brand new, with these still being cheaper when they're both on sale. Overall, the QuietComfort 2023 is one of the strongest all-around packages when looking at all of the categories, and that sound quality and noise canceling performance really impressed me because I was expecting them to be a fairly significant drop-off from the QC Ultra, which I've spent a lot of time reviewing, but to my surprise, these are very competitive and they share so many of the same strengths as the QC Ultra. So I'm giving these a 4.5 out of 5 for value. Honestly, I don't think there is a better headphone for $250 or less right now. So overall, the Bose QuietComfort 2023 receives a 9 out of 10, which is one of the best scores we've ever given out on the site. I mean, it's just a strong overall package that really surprised me. In some ways, you're getting some of the same performance and characteristics of the QC Ultra, but you're actually getting a more fun sound quality that has stronger bass. If I'm listening to headphones mostly just for fun, and if I mostly listen to the modern genres as opposed to things like classical and jazz, then I might even just pick the QuietComfort 2023 over the Ultra. If you enjoyed this comprehensive review and found it valuable and helpful, hit the thumbs up button and comment below letting me know your thoughts. If you have any questions about this headphone versus any of the headphones I've mentioned or on the website, feel free to leave in the comments. I try to get back to as many people as possible. Once again, we have links to where you can save up to $100 or more in the description and in a pinned comment below. If you're shopping for headphones and trying to cross-shop different models, I highly recommend you check out recordingnow.com or Google Recording Now, where you can see all of our content, and you can also use the search bar to find what you're looking for. Lastly, subscribe and hit the notification bell because we have a ton more content on the way. We're really trying to build the most comprehensive database of honest headphone reviews to help you shop better and just help connect you with the right product for your needs and your preferences. Thanks for watching and happy listening.